Ringo TV Reactions. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Let's get to work.
For all the fathers, we need you. Trust me, we would much rather rest in our feminine energy than to have to step up and use our masculine energy to raise these kids on our own. But what we need for you guys to do is to heal. Don't allow the past, not even of just this life or your former self, but our ancestors that we're still healing from, the things that they've been through. Let's break these generational curses, my brothers, kings, gods, because it starts with you. You're the foundation of every household. And that's all I pray and I wish, that you can recognize that atonement in that holy instant to where you realize that love is all there is. That fear is just an illusion. Fear stands for false evidence appearing real. And once you all realize that, your Father's Day will be every day. You will have women that will serve you and kids that will love and adore and respect you. Find it within and heal, kings. Please, we need you.
Personally, I don't believe her. In this day and time, it's very difficult as men and women when it comes to relationships, because we have fallen away from the hope and the purpose of why we're even here. And it's like we're at odds against each other. We see it every single day. It's all over social media. There's a disconnect. And it's one of them type of problems that we don't even want it to be fixed. We want it to continue to go on and on and on. Male versus female. Who's the boss? Who's getting the bag? We really have no concept of relationships. And consequently, this is why dating in 2024 and beyond is going to be pretty difficult for a lot of people, because, again, when men and women come into these relationships, a lot of times they don't come in with purpose in mind. It's typically based on what they can get in terms of sex, gifts, trips, dinner dates, and so forth. And it becomes so cliche, and it's like you can see it coming. It's like it's so predictable. You know exactly what's going to happen before it even happened. As you listen to her, you can tell that she's not really serious. It's just something to say for social media to get the clicks, the likes. But her actions, in terms of her life, it would speak volumes if she actually have an actual husband. And I think that a lot of times, one of the reasons why a lot of men, we just don't listen to stuff like that no more. And I'm primarily speaking to the ladies. It's like when we hear women talk like that, it's actually worse, because we know it's not real. It's not coming from a place of, from the heart. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, I just want to stroke a guy's ego or tell him what he want to hear. And those type of things don't work on men. With women, yes, men can gas women up and they can be misled and deceived. But with us brothers, that type of flattery don't work, because we could tell that it's not coming from a place of sincerity. It's more from a place of trying to get something, which is typically attention. It's one of them type of situations. Men in today's culture are looking for women that understand purpose. And for some reason, women in today's day don't have that in mind. It's normally a competition in relationships. Every single time a man and a woman come together, it's a constant battle of who's getting the money, who's making the most money, where you live, what you drive. It's just so superficial. It just kills the relationship because we're just so materialistic, and we're constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses, that it just ruins everything. We really have no time to grow. We really have no time to do anything because we want to compete with everybody else. So purpose is never being fulfilled. And this is why dating and relationships just don't work. And it seems like people just hook up just to hook up. It's like even dating is a waste of time. Like trying to holler at a sister now is a waste of time. Believe it or not, a lot of you guys, I'm pretty sure you can pick up on the same thing. It's like you're not even concerned with dating anymore. Most of you guys are just trying to get your bread together. You don't even got no time to be wasting with these women because in your mind, you know that they're not serious about anything. So why waste time and money? From time to time, some of you guys might go out there to try to get a woman because you're trying to sleep with her. I get it. At the same time, even that's toxic. So on both spectrums, we're both losing. We're losing because when women come together with men, they're not sincere. And because of this, guys are typically forced to think outside the box when it comes to relationships. Just as you have many women out there that are frustrated with the caliber of men that they deal with. But then again, that's their fault. That's their choices. It's something they got to it's something they got to deal with, something they got to live with. Because the kind of men that you ladies choose is typically the kind of man you're going to get, which is based upon your own character. I mean, if you're a woman who claim you're good, then any man you choose to be with gotta be a good man, right? And I think that a lot of times ladies are not really focused on self-accountability. They don't really hold themselves to the fire and say, well, you know what? Let me look at my own self, look at my own faults, find out what I'm doing so that I can make better decisions. Because as a woman, you got to ask yourself the question, if you keep mingling with different men and all of these men ain't no good, then it's the problem with you. But are you capable of accepting that? Or will you continue to blame men? Because again, if you're a good woman, there's no way that you just keep attracting the same kind of guys. It's just virtually impossible. But this is where we are in today's culture. We have a lot of problems in dating and relationships, and it's because our priorities are all out of whack. Let's listen to the tape again, and then we're going to break it down and wrap up the show. Let's go.
For all the fathers, we need you.
Now, when she says we need you, she had a big old smile. That sounds nice. We need you. Well, men need you. But the problem is they can't get you to submit. And that's another problem. Because your submission is conditional. It's not unconditional. It's not based on love. It's based on feelings and emotions. So when we get into these relationships, the first thing you say is, you need the man. But for what purpose? It seems that it's always monetary. It's never based on, purpose. And a lot of guys are frustrated with this because when we hear women say stuff like, we need you, we know what you mean. If you mean money, you mean we need you for money. That's it. A man don't feel appreciated in this time when it comes to his women. And we really don't. And when I say this, I'm saying this on behalf of the majority of men because that's pretty much how they think. They are not appreciated by their women. And to know this as a woman, and you have not yet developed yourself to understanding the issues that are facing society right now, then that means that we're never going to come together.
Trust me,
when she says, trust me, how can I? How can I trust women that say these things, make these nice speeches, but then their actions don't even line up with it? I hear women all the time say stuff like, we love you, you're so great, you're this, you're that. Empty words. Because their actions don't even follow suit. Meaning, they say things that sound good. But when it comes to action, these women are nowhere to be found. So it leaves men in a position where they're like, why do women flatter so much? It's a turnoff. It's like receiving compliments all day. I don't know how women can sit there and have hundreds of men complimenting them all day, because I can't have that. For me personally, if I had women that just keep complimenting me all day, I'm going to get tired of that. And it's going to become very annoying, because in my mind, I'm like, why are you complimenting me so much? But you have not yet stepped up to the plate to actually be a part of my life, to build. So the compliments and all of the flattery, none of that stuff mean nothing to me. I'm not impressed when women, I guess they compliment me, you're handsome, you're this. None of that stuff moves me, because I know it's flattery. It don't mean nothing. It's not coming from a place of purpose. It's just coming from a place of flattery. Do you understand my point? And after a while, it gets boring, because it's like, okay, you're all talk, no action. And that's exactly what we're hearing when she say these things. It sounds good, but with the experiences that us men deal with concerning our women, it's a greater problem. We hear the talk, but when it comes to the solutions and the actions of women, we just don't see it.
We would much rather rest in our feminine energy than to have to step up and use our masculine energy to raise these kids on our own.
Another problem. And if you just judge by the still image of her facial expression, it's pretty clear that she really don't mean what she said. Because she basically insulted men and basically said, we need you to do X, Y, and Z. We would rather rest in our feminine energy rather than our masculine energy, raising these kids by ourselves and X, Y, and Z. Now think about that, ladies. Imagine you're a woman. You're supposed to be feminine, but you're talking about your masculine energy. Think about how that sounds to a man. Think about what that means. When have you ever heard a man say he needs to rest in his feminine energy? Never. We don't talk like that as men. So why do you do that? Why do you have feminine and masculine energy flowing through your blood? Why? See, a man cannot trust when we hear women talk like this. It makes us not want to be a part of anything. And I think that this is one of the problems that we have in this culture with relationships and dating. There comes a time, especially as a man, where you just get tired. You just get fed up. And life becomes so clear to you that you understand the meaning of life. And you realize what is necessary and what's important and what's not. And for most of us men that are seasoned in the game, when we see our women say these type of things, it tells us that she's not really fit to be a part of that journey. She's not. And to avoid the headaches and the disappointments, we would just not rather be involved. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of guys refuse to get married and they just remain a bachelor. Some guys may have dealt with women and had kids, but even those guys are saying to themselves, I'm not really trying to get married because I don't want to deal with the headaches and the problems. Now, we're not talking about the Pookie and Ray Ray types. We're not talking about the guys that are just sitting on their tail, the guys that don't want to do anything with their lives. We're talking about men. We're talking about men of value, men that are out here working, men that are building themselves up, and they're looking for women to build and grow with. And for whatever reason, these brothers are unable to establish this because the state of the problems that we have, it makes it very difficult to grow. It makes it very difficult to find women that have the drive and the energy of wanting to reach new heights. You know, we're supposed to be acquiring land. We're supposed to be building houses. We're supposed to be having family and children and living in peace rather than being a slave in captivity. And I don't think that in today's culture that women understand the assignment is not about them being pretty all day and posting Instagram pictures. The assignment is that we need to wake up as a people. We need to recognize the problems that we have so that we can overcome all of our issues, so that our children can have a better start on life. Because if we don't set that standard and that example, how are we able to make a better life for them? If anything, it's going to be worse for them because we set no examples before them. We haven't accomplished nothing. We left nothing for them. And now it's like they're starting from rock bottom, just like we had to, because our parents and ancestors never really left anything for us.
But what we need for you guys to do is to heal.
Notice that. She's telling us that she need us to heal.
Don't allow the past, not even of just this life or your former self, but our ancestors that we're still healing from the things that they've been through.
Do you see what we have to deal with? This is what I mean, fam. She's telling us that we need to heal. And not only us, but we need to heal because of the things that our ancestors have gone through. It's not that men need to heal, because we don't need to heal of anything. The problem that we have in today's day, if we really just get down to the nitty gritty, is that our women do not submit to their men. And this is a fact. They don't. Not only they don't submit to their men, they don't submit to God. And when you have a situation where women don't submit to men, it's because they don't submit to God. That's the only reason why. See, if you're a woman and you're listening to the video and you have a difficult time submitting to a man, and I'm talking about a man of quality. We're not talking about a man who's a bum, a man who's not doing nothing, a man who's in and out of prison, in the streets. We're talking about a quality man. If you got a problem submitting to that man, it's because you're most likely not submitted to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's just the way it is. There's no way that you could be a woman who's submitted to God and have a problem submitting to a quality man. It makes virtually no sense. Any good woman in her right mind will be going out of her way to submit to a quality man. She would. Why? Because she know that that man represents righteousness, peace, joy, and he have all of the qualities that she dreamed of, and she don't want to lose that. But in today's culture, we don't get that. And this is why it's very difficult for women to submit, because they never had any examples, because their mothers never had no real stable relationships. In most cases, you may not even know who your father is. There was no real men in the household in whom she was submitted to. So in most cases, women never seen their mothers submit. And this is why they don't submit to no man. Relationships have to have standards by which everyone follow. And when women don't apply the necessary skills and characteristics of what it takes to be a wife, a woman, a mother, a mate, a helpmate to a man, and she's not applying none of this, the relationships go nowhere. Actions speak louder than words.
Let's break these generational curses.
The only way generational curses can be broken is if women repent of their sins. See, you're saying, let's break generational curses. But what are you going to do to break them? Because in her mind, men are the problem. And it's not that men are the problem, it's the kind of men she chooses. And the only reason why she chooses men that are no good is typically because she is no good. You are what you eat. You attract what you are. And this is the problem. In order to break generational curses, you're going to have to know what are the problems. But it seemed like when I talk about these problems, rather than women take personal accountability, they rather just say that you're misogynistic, you're a hater, you don't like women. This is the typical response when women have nothing good to say. And this is why these problems continue. She just talked about breaking generational curses. Okay, what about the curses that women have to break? Babies out of wedlock, having a bunch of baby daddies, sleeping around with multiple guys when you're not their wife. I mean, the list goes on and on. We could continue going. But see, when you talk about these generational curses, rather than women humble themselves, they get upset. And this is why we can never come to the round table and actually build as men and women. Because we bring our feelings. We wear our feelings on our shoulders. And the minute we hear something that we don't approve of, we throw in the towel. And then it's over. And you're left with a broken heart, wounded, and you go through life miserable. Let's go.
My brothers, kings, gods.
Notice what she called us. Brothers, kings, gods. I don't believe her. I don't believe what she just said. There's no sincerity in it. See, they call us brothers, but they don't treat us like brothers. They call us kings, but they don't serve us as a king. They call us gods, but they don't worship us. Do you understand my point, brethren? Ladies, do you understand? You call us brothers, but you don't treat us as brothers. You look down on us. You think you're better than us. You think you're the man of the house. You call us kings, but you don't serve us as kings. You don't see us as being on the throne of your life. You call us gods, but you don't worship us. You don't praise us. So these words are empty. Where is her husband in whom she worship? Where is her king that she serves and praise? Where is he? This is my point.
Because it starts with you. You're the foundation of every household.
See, it's very easier said than done. Very easy said than done, because she's saying we're the foundation of every home. But if you look at every home, women are proclaiming themselves as both the mother and the father. So it's very difficult for a man to believe her. Because if women really felt like that, then men would be ruling their households. Men would be leading their households, because the women would fall back and let their man, their king, do what he gotta do. But that's not happening. Show me a woman that literally sat back and let their man lead. If you really believe that this man is the foundation of the home, where is your husband? If you're a woman and you really believe that the man is the foundation of the home, where is your husband? Because if you don't have one and he's not leading you and you're not submitted to that man, then it's all talk. And that's why I don't believe her.
And that's all I pray and I wish, that you can recognize that atonement in that holy instant to where you realize that love is all there is.
They say love is all there is, but they don't love us. Because in order for a woman to truly love a man, she has to respect the man. And that's one of the biggest problems we have today. Women don't really respect us brothers. They really believe they're above us, especially when they're in different positions, different jobs. They really believe they're so on top. They believe they can speak down on you, look down on you. They don't see you as an authority figure because in their mind, they're in a position and they feel like they have power over you to control you. Some of them get great pleasure to do so. We see this in various occupations and jobs where you have women that are in certain positions and supervisor roles and various administrators in various positions, and they really believe that they have control over any male subject, and they get pleasure out of telling them what to do. And this is a very, very serious problem, even in relationships. A lot of times when guys get into relationships with women, the woman assumes that she controls the man. And it becomes very hostile in the relationship because the man is trying to lead because naturally that's what us brothers do. We lead. But when we have women that want to lead too, it become a conflict. You know, it become a conflicting situation of, people bumping heads. And before you know it, the relationship goes downhill. And that's where we're at. So the things that she just said, it sounds nice on paper, but in reality, she don't really believe what she just said.
That fear is just an illusion. Fear stands for false evidence appearing real. And once you all realize that, your Father's Day will be every day.
That's a lie. I don't believe it. It sounds good. But with the amount of experiences men had with women, we know as men that she really don't believe what she's saying. We know that. She's just selling us brothers empty promises to make us feel good. It's called flattery. And it's something that we need to watch out for. Flattery is very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And it's something that we must overcome when listening to women, is to not allow them to flatter us with sweet words, because behind each of those words, there's no actions that validate the words. If a woman don't respect you, she don't love you.
You will have women that will serve you and kids that will love and adore and respect you.
That's a lie. Because if that was so, all of the brothers would have that already. Where is her husband in whom she serve and respect? Where is he? That's my point. Where are the women that are stepping to the plate to serve a man? One of the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, why we as a community are having so many problems is because we're not together. We all have a role. And if we work together, we can accomplish anything. And that's the biggest problem that we have, is that we're just not working together. And this is why we struggle. This is why we struggle to get from A to B. And then when we get from A to B and we're able to establish something that we built, it becomes even more difficult to join with other people because you're like, look, I did this by myself, and I am not about to make you come over and benefit from everything that I built by myself. I had to struggle to build this by myself. I had to go through all sorts of hot water to get where I'm at. What makes you think I'm just going to let you come in and enjoy everything that I've built? And this is why a lot of guys that have established themselves, they don't allow women to live with them, and they're not trying to marry no woman because it took them years and years and years to finally get to a place in life where they have some sense of peace. And they're not about to have no woman disrupt their peace. And the same goes for women. You have women that go out there, they, rent a house, have a nice apartment, or bought a property. You know, they have their homeowner. And because they establish themselves and have a property, it becomes very difficult for that woman to actually submit to a man, especially if he lives in an apartment and she got a house and she went through the motions to get that property. It becomes very difficult for her to submit to that man, because in her mind, she's like, why would I do all of that work on submitting to a man when I built myself up and I got my house and I don't need you? That's the attitude. So how do you take a woman that has an attitude of, I built mine, I got mine, I'm independent? How do you take a woman who is feeling like that and make her become a good woman? How do you do that? It's virtually impossible in some cases. It takes a miracle for a woman to change her ways. This is why it's even worse when women get the bag or have any sort of success. She's more unlikely to serve, cater to, and respect any man. This is just the way it is. You would have to be making way more money for her to even think about submitting to you. And her submission to you is primarily based on money. It's not based on your character as a man. You could be the best man. You could be a good man. You could treat her well. That is not going to make her serve you. It got to be based on the money. And when you have women that are focused on the money, again, it becomes even more difficult to have these relationships.
Find it within and heal, kings. Please, we need you.
See, she's telling us that we need to find it in ourselves to heal because they need us. When the truth of the matter is they need to heal from all of the past relationships they had with different guys that traumatized them, causing them to become either bitter, resentful, spiteful, and hating men without a cause due to the problems they faced in the past. And this is where we are right now. This is why a lot of times women be reluctant to listen and even to my content, because I'm very sincere when I speak. I speak on real issues because these are the things that are going on in the world. I speak on things that I feel. I speak from the heart because that's therapy for me, because I know the struggles. I know what's going on in life and I can relate to people. You know, I'm not one of these folks that prance around on social media like they're big time when really they got issues just like everybody else. And this is why I'm able to relate to the people, because I'm just like you guys. You know what I mean? So leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think of the video. It would be really great if people can be honest rather than constantly fighting back and forth over these issues. But we as a people really need to join and come together because we're diminishing and we're not growing. We're not fulfilling purpose. We're just existing in a wicked world. So, hey, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Ringo TV Reactions. I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/RingoTVRaw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at RingoTVRaw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.